single of Chelsea and a single of Jordan.
Single first.
Duncan, I am so happy to be talking to you right now.
Great. Likewise.
This is an amazing film.
Thank you. You saw it?
I saw it. I saw it. Blew my mind.
For real?
For real. No, Judy will even tell you that if it sucked, I'd tell you.
Okay. That's fair.
This
Fair.
is seeing Dylan in a role like this. I kept thinking the whole time, okay, Don needs to hire Bobby Donnell right now.
Who's Bobby Donald?
That's the character he played on the Practice years.
Practice, yes. I am familiar with The Practice, but I didn't realize his character was named Bobby Donald. Yeah.
Donald, yeah. So it's like
That's a good point. Don needs to hire Bobby Donald. Yes.
yes. Yeah. I was like, this is utterly amazing. How did you approach this? Because you keep the tension built, you give tiny little hints as we go along, and you really hone in on his characteristics and the traits and little ticks and things that he brings to the character, and you counter that with Charlie's performance.
Yeah.
So I'm curious your approach to designing this.
I was going for something that was very relatable and normal, and I wanted it to be from the perspective of someone who was confronted with a situation like this, which is totally out of the norms of regular human experience, and what would you do in that situation? So I really focused on normalcy. I call it norm horror.
Well, I have to say, you've got Boy Scouts, you have a scout leader, you have church-going folk, they're doing goodwill, giving meals to the homeless, and it's extremely normal, it's extremely altruistic, and then we see what's you peel back the curtain.
Yeah. Yeah, and I suppose that it's kind of like an anti-mystery. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything.
No, we don't want to spoil anything. I know. But I have to commend you on your construction with how we're starting out meeting Cassie.
Yeah.
And
One of my favorites.
I love the character of Cassie, and we start out meeting Cassie, and then you have it structured so we get to the third act, and then we backtrack to that moment.
Right. That was one of my, I told the story verbally to a lot of people before I ever wrote anything down. And I remember being at a farmhouse upstate, and I got to that point, that particular moment that tends to cause a gasp in the audience, and it did that. And I knew, when it caused people to gasp, and I was just telling it to them on a porch in upstate New York, that it was working, and that's kind of how I worked out. Because I wanted to kind of throw people for a loop. Yeah.
Well, you certainly do that. How long was this process in bringing the Clovehitch Killer to life?
Conceived the story in 2011. Started pitching it in 2013, 14. Teamed up with Christopher Ford, my good friend, longtime collaborator. He wrote the screenplay around 2014, 15. Yeah, and then we didn't get a green light until 2016, about 2 weeks. We switched production companies. It was a long process. Yeah, with a lot of ups and downs. It's kind of like a roller coaster.
What led you to Dylan and Charlie for their roles? Because, Charlie is so on the. You got him before All the Money in the World picked him up,
right,
before Ridley got him.
Yeah.
So you really got him at a perfect point. And then, of course, Dylan. He's a a big name, and this is perfect timing for this film to come out because Charlie's built such a name for himself already.
Yeah, for sure. Charlie, as I recall, was a suggestion from CAA, who sort of packaged the film, and Dylan is with CAA as well. And so Charlie, the role of Tyler was one of the ones that we auditioned the least amount of people, because as soon as I met Charlie, I thought he's like one of the most intelligent actors that I've met, and so I was down. And then the character of Dawn, Dylan was the first person who and was very enthusiastic about it, because we got a lot of people who turn it down, and understandably, because it's kind of like a lot to ask of a lead actor to do.
Yeah.
The things that Dawn does, but Dylan wanted to do it, and I wasn't really sure. Because Dylan's so handsome, and he's a handsome TV actor, right? And I needed this Midwestern dad, right? I needed it to be believable. But I talked with Dylan, and he convinced me, and I'm glad that he did, because I think he did an amazing job. He just really owned that character, and I think it's really cool when actors transform themselves like that. Yeah.
Well, he definitely did that, and you definitely created something really incredible here. Congratulations.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed the film, and I appreciate your interest in it.
Oh my God, I love it. And I can't wait for the audience to see the film tonight.
I'm psyched too. I've never seen it with a big audience.
Well, you're about to.
It's designed for,
Well, congratulations.